The Simply Successful program offers stress management tools for the lifespan, so small children, adolescents, or adults can be simply successful.
Hello, I'm Deb Timmerman.
And I'm Beth Tuttle.
Welcome to the Simply Successful program.
We teach stress management skills that build resilient kids, create successful families, and thriving communities.
Today, our guest is Jackie Vallier. She's a teacher at Westlake Elementary in Battle Creek. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in education from Western Michigan University, and she's been teaching for 17 years. She's taught first, third, fourth, and fifth grades, and has additional training in Kagan Cooperative Learning, William Glasser's Choice Theory and Reality Therapy, and the Namaste Way Institute. Welcome, Jackie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Jackie, were you always one of those people growing up that wanted to be a teacher?
Actually, no.
Oh.
I began college with a major in psychology, so I've always felt fulfilled by helping others, and that was the way I thought I wanted to help. I came from a family of teachers. My mom and my dad were both teachers, and as I was going through school, it became clear to me that I wanted to work in the school setting, educating children.
Many of the teachers that we chat with, they share how they feel that they work long hours, there's a lot of paperwork, and that they struggle with meeting the requirements for kids of having to pass a test. In short, they feel like they teach to pass a test. Do you feel that?
I definitely feel that there is a lot of expectations put on teachers. I do feel that we have to teach somewhat to a test. We look at our state test, which is coming up here in the next month or so, and the pressure is really starting to come on to have our students practice weekly. We have to practice 30 minutes to an hour per subject area, specifically in preparing them to take the standardized state test.
Okay, so we know that obviously the testing is a stressor to the kids, probably all of them. What do you think are some other main stressors that the kids deal with in the classroom?
So some of the things that I asked my students that stress them in the classroom, and number one was the state test, because they always hear me say, now we're going to practice for our MSTEP test. Now we're going to practice for this test. The writing piece, they've developed a new writing piece this year called a text-dependent analysis. So we were required to teach them this new structure of writing, and so their number one was the state test. They also said getting back grades on tests and seeing how they perform, that stresses them. They feel very self-conscious. They worry what other people will think of them. They worry about recess. They worry about students being aggressive, playing sports. They worry about kids bullying them, annoying them, doing things they don't like. And this was a shock to me, but I actually had some students say that they're concerned that our school will be the site of the next school shooting.
Whoa. That had to make you take a step back. How do you respond to that when they share that in the classroom?
Well, first I validate all of their feelings and their emotions. We always say everything that you feel is okay to feel that way. Then we talk about it, and I try to reassure them that we've been trained to handle any situation that comes our way, and I've been trained to keep them safe. Building relationships with your students is the foundation of the classroom. And if you don't have a trusting environment where everybody feels safe, then the quality and the depth of the learning that takes place will never be what it could.
What other things do kids bring to school? What about things that are happening at home? How does that affect their ability to learn?
When you have a student who is coming to school and they haven't eaten, they slept on a couch, their parents are in a custody battle, these students are in survival mode, and their learning cannot take place when their other needs are not being met. So I do have students every year who are fighting to just feel normal outside of school, and there's so many roadblocks to their learning that it makes teaching them quite difficult. When kids go through traumatic experiences, those are telltale signs of the fact that they're going through a traumatic event in their life. I have seen children go through traumatic experiences, and I have gone through a process that we call a child study, which I'm very thankful that I'm in a district that has the system in place where we get together with the school social worker, the school psychologist, our behavior interventionist, and we look at that child as a team. We look at their academics, we look at their home life, and we really try to pick apart and figure out what is hindering the child from learning. So I feel that we're really good at determining if a student really does have a disability or if they are just trying to survive a traumatic home life.
That's a lot of responsibility for you. How many kids do you have in an average class? What's your class size?
I teach third grade this year again, and so I have 25 students. That's our cap. We won't go over that. In fourth grade and up, you can have up to 30 students in your classroom.
So how do you balance all of their needs and keep yourself focused and feeling okay?
It's really difficult. It is very difficult to separate my feelings for these children from their education. I balance that by giving them the support that they need. If they need to sleep, I will let them sleep. If they need to eat, we feed them. We try to handle those needs in the classroom, at school, and then when they're ready, then we can start the learning process.
Wow, Deb and I have been in several schools and they don't have half of these things in place. They're not thinking about that the child maybe is hungry or tired. It's just the child gets disciplined for bad behavior or not paying attention in class because maybe they're dozing off, and then they get detention, they're expelled. All of these things happen and they don't solve the problem. It sounds like your school has put a lot of things in place to help these kids, which is awesome. Can you think of some other things you've used in your classroom that have worked for the kids around stress?
Absolutely. We have two different things that we do. We have calming exercises, and then we have some exercises that help get our energy out or wake us up if we're feeling a little sluggish. So things that we do to calm ourselves down, we have a calming corner, so children can go there, and we have some really neat bottles with glitter in them. We call our calm catchers, and it takes about 2 minutes once you shake it up for the glitter to fall. So kids know at any time when they're feeling like their mind is drifting away, they can go over and shake that calm catcher and watch it. We have an area where they can just color on paper for a few minutes. I've seen some classrooms have yoga pose cards, and the kids can do some yoga poses. My children know breathing exercises, so they know they can go over and do some breathing exercises. those are more of the calming, refocusing activities that they can do during a lesson, a whole group lesson. We do several things as a whole group. We do what we call brain breaks, and we'll stand up, we'll do different types of brain breaks. This is where we can do energizing brain breaks, where we're marching in place, or we're running, we're doing jumping jacks. We'll do calming brain breaks, where we are doing some deep breathing techniques. We do some tapping exercises to help relieve stress and refocus. Another thing that we do is activities to get your brains working again, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, for example, I have them get a pen in one hand, and we'll do figure eights through our legs with the pen, passing it back and forth. So just different things to cross the midline of the brain and kind of get those hemispheres talking to each other again.
So I have to ask the obvious question. You're talking a little bit about the Simply Successful Kids program, some of those elements. And our listeners don't know this, but you actually piloted this program in your class. And it sounds like, okay, so we did that last year, and you've carried over some of those exercises to this year. Do you feel like they were beneficial and they really help you set that space for learning?
Oh, absolutely. I loved it. My children loved it. And people ask me all the time about teaching. And I have to say that last year was one of my favorite years in my teaching career. We just had such a good group of kids. And one of the reasons is because we all went through this program together. And it helps the kids become trustworthy of each other, and it helps them get close to each other, because we talked about our emotions so much. We talked about our feelings, and we went through the program together so they would help each other. If they saw somebody struggling, we'll do this exercise, or you could try this breathing. It was just so life-changing for me as a teacher to be able to have that tool in my classroom. And my kids still talk about it. I have some that come back to school and they say, "Hey, are you still doing that thing where those two ladies come down?"
So for our listeners who aren't familiar with these exercises, you can find a lot of these on our website for absolutely free at simplysuccessfulprogram.com/blog. BLOG. It's under the blog tab. And every Thursday we do some kind of cool acupressure or stress relieving free thing that we put out there so that you can build your knowledge base and take these into your classrooms. We know that kids need to learn these social emotional regulation tools. And we are so thankful that Jackie was willing to share what she goes through as a teacher and how those exercises helped. We have to change the culture, ladies and gentlemen, and we do this one classroom, one teacher at a time.
That was great. Thanks for sharing, Jackie, and we want to thank you for being obviously such an incredible teacher, and the care that you put into these kids. I mean, that'd be my number one thing as a parent, to, you'd want your child to have a teacher like you that's actually putting the effort, carrying it. We know how busy you are. We've heard it from the teachers. You don't have a lot of time, but you take that time to get to know each kid, and that's a huge part of their healing, growing, and helping them with their stress.
Jackie, thank you so much for joining us today. If you want more information or want to talk to Jackie, you can find a link to her on our website at simplysuccessfulprogram.com. We thank you so much for tuning in today. Until next time, have a great day.